Okay, he says he's managing. Welcome back to Ledrew Live. Comedian, and he's very funny. Author of the book The Other Oprahs is Michael Gelbart, and he just confessed on TV that you manage.
Yeah, I do manage.
Michael, welcome to the show.
Do you manage?
I always manage. Sometimes it may not look like it, but I do manage. Now, let's just talk about you for a second before we get into this, The Other Oprahs. You're a Canadian.
I am a Canadian. You are correct.
You are an expat. You live in LA, though.
Yes, I divide my time between the U.S. and Canada. I think legally I'm required to be in the U.S. 6 months out of the year to keep the green card. So.
And they keep the daily, day to day. I know somebody who actually works it down to the hours when they're on the
someone outside my building every day making sure that I walk out of that building at least 6 months of the year. And I opt to come to Toronto in February. That's what I choose to do.
So that would mean that you're not really that smart, and I know you are smart.
No, because February,
Valentine's
Day is the day of love, and my work is all about love.
Is that what you do in LA?
Yes.
I thought you were a writer and comedian.
It's all the same, but it's giving love to the people. You know, you tell your jokes, people laugh. And then they feel happy inside, and they go home and they have intercourse, if I may, and that's a form of love.
That's very Canadian of you. Intercourse, if I may.
Yeah, I know. I like this because a lot of comedians are throwing around swear words like crazy, right?
No,
so it loses all. Well, no, not on television, but at the clubs, yes. A lot of the comedians use a lot of foul language, and I have decided that because all the power is taken away from those words, saying something like intercourse is actually more irreverent than saying the F word because no one else is saying intercourse.
So that's what you do in LA and in Canada. Stand-up comedian.
Yes.
Aside from a published
stand-up comedian, published author, and I write for a lot of TV and film.
Okay, so you're here and you're in Toronto. You're going to be appearing at Yuck Yucks?
Yuck Yucks this Wednesday through Sunday.
Okay.
Yes.
And your routine, I mean, a lot of Canadians are sort of self-effacing and very, very polite. Are you one of those self-effacing Canadians?
I like to think of myself... I definitely like to think of myself as a polite person, but my act is, a lot of observations about dating, relationships, and, I tread on some impolite territory. I do it clean, of course, but it's definitely adult content.
Now, you were in the green room, and I don't know if you heard Michelle when she was on from Harlequin, the chief kissing officer, talking about Canadians known around the world as being passionate. Is that your experience?
Well, it certainly has been in my relationships.
Good for you.
Yes, absolutely. American women, I've dated some of them, and sometimes I say, American woman, let me be, I say that sometimes, and they think I'm an idiot. But when I'm smooching it up, I can say smooching, right?
Yeah,
when I'm smooching with a fine American, when I'm smooching with a fine American lady, they often comment on how passionate I am, and I can only think that's because I'm Canadian.
Because you were brought up at Yonge and St. Clair in Toronto?
Yes. Well, I wasn't brought up there. My parents, I moved from Thornhill to Yonge and St. Clair.
Oh, Thornhill.
Yeah, I made that
wild
leap.
Suburb to the north.
It was a crazy, crazy time growing up in Thornhill,
I'll bet.
Hanging out at the mall, sneaking from one movie theater to the next.
When you're supposed to be in school?
No. Do that on the weekends.
Okay.
Yes.
So, you're a stand-up comedian. You're making it in L.A. You've been, you went to Halifax first when you came back in this
Went to Halifax, and now I'm here.
You're here. Now, let's just talk about this book. The Other Oprahs.
Yes, The Other Oprahs. Not that Oprah.
No, not that Oprah, clearly.
No, that Oprah's
got... You make that clear at the start of your book.
Yes.
When you say you Google Oprah, there's one Oprah.
Yeah, one Oprah when you Google Oprah. You Google Lisa, there's 7 zillion different Lisas. You Google Oprah, it's all the same person.
So what about these other Oprahs that you've created?
These are 4 women who are struggling or enjoying the fact that their name is Oprah, and they have their own different relationships with their name. They come from different walks of life. They never meet, but every week they meet in a chat room just for women named Oprah, and they talk about how to better each other's lives.
And their concerns and how they have been, perhaps, as you put it in one word, I think they've been misconstrued as Oprahs.
I believe I did say that.
Yes, I believe you did. I read it in your book. Now, so have you heard from Oprah about this book?
I haven't heard from her. One thing people always ask me is, do I think there's a chance I could get sued by Oprah? Now, ironically, though, I have been threatened with a lawsuit by Ty and Cameron Winklevoss, who sued Mark Zuckerberg. I was performing at Harvard, and the Winklevosses were going to school there, and they started talking to me about a book called The Other Montels. But this is nothing like that idea.
And the Winklevosses were concerned that you were talking about the other Montels?
Well, no. They think that The Other Oprahs is is from their idea, the other Montels, but none of this is the same as the other Montels. It is completely different. These Winklevosses are trying to sue everyone. They're very litigious.
That's terrible.
Yeah, they're no good, the Winklevosses.
No. Well, I think they're going to be suing you right now.
No, they're not.
After, why not? You just said that they're no good. You can't go on TV and say someone's no good, even if they're Winklevosses at Harvard.
There's a pattern to what I'm doing in my life here. I'm supporting Mark Zuckerberg,
yes.
Oprah Winfrey. These are the people I'm trying to align myself with.
Does Oprah thank you for supporting her?
She doesn't know about this book yet.
Really?
Yeah, but
I bet she does. She's all-knowing. I mean, those people at Harpo Productions in Chicago are really smart.
The more TV and times I'm in print about the book, the more chance they have of finding out, which I hope they do.
When she was in Toronto, Oprah was in Toronto last September at the Toronto Film Festival, and she was talking about CB24.
She was?
Yeah, she said that TV station with everything going on at the same time. She says, I'd love it. So, I mean, maybe she'll be finding out more about your book.
I would love that. I mean,
why should someone read your book?
It's funny. It's inspiring. It makes you feel good to be alive. These are 4 women who fall in love in the book. They develop friendship, and it's about everything that we want. You know, self-respect, friendship, and love.
Those are the 3 things we want?
We want those things. You don't want those things?
Well, no. I'm a bit older than that. I mean, what about dough, money?
That
you
comes
mean you're at Yuck Yucks just for fun?
Yeah, I sometimes you get a little money in your pocket and you get a little extra self-respect.
I see.
Yeah, when you get compensated for a job well done, there's a lot of self-respect in that.
I guess so. Now tell me about, we are going to get into compensation. My bosses are probably watching.
I didn't mention
Let's talk about what you've got coming up. Aside from being at Yuck Yucks, you have something coming up at...
Oh yeah, Manulife Center, at Indigo at Manulife Center at 7 o'clock this Thursday, February 17th. I'm doing a signing and reading of the other Oprahs. It's a hard title. The other Oprahs, with 4 local famous actresses reading as each Oprah. I have Nikki Payne, who's a famous Canadian comic. Lauren Hammersley. I have...
Lauren is behaving like an Oprah?
You know her?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, she's on a new CBC series that I worked on. And I have Deanie DeMarcos from Love Court and Video on Trial. And I have Dana Alexander, who has a comedy special airing on CTV later this year.
So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, they're each reading a chapter, then I do a Q&A and a signing.
Okay,
and
Michael,
that's at 7 o'clock.
I have to tell you, I like it a lot more when you mention CTV than that other network that you mentioned tonight.
What other one did I mention?
Exactly. Michael, thank you very, very much for coming in. Good book, The Other Oprahs, and you're a funny guy.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for coming north. We're going to take our break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about what were they thinking. We've got a few hot ones. Stay with us.